3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody. It is episode 84. 84, man.
Wow.
And the year is 1985. Tonight's guest, we have Blaine Burke on from Gpop.
Hello, TV land out there. Millions of viewers.
Returning guest.
Returning guest. In-studio guest. Second in-studio guest.
Privilege.
Welcome in, man.
Wicked. Glad to be here. This is a real fat show, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to the zone.
That's right. Welcome to the zone. Yeah, we finally got somebody else in the studio.
Yeah.
We'll try that out and see what happens. But yeah, man, so we got him on tonight. We're going to be talking about Gpop. So let them know, Blake, man, let them know what dates, and then we'll get into what you guys got going on.
All right, so Gpop Culture Fair, it's our 5th event. We're happening it again in April 12th and 13th. And it's going to be a great time. Like I said, it's our 5th show, so it's 5 for me is kind of like a little marker, and you want to do something special for number 5.
Yeah.
So we've been working hard to put together a great B-tier show that's proudly independent and showcases lots of local talent. And hopefully we're going to talk about some of that tonight and convince the millions of viewers to come out and check out Gpop, man.
Yeah,
because we got a lot happening.
No, it's an excellent local festival. Keep that in mind as well. It's a ball. It's awesome, and it's been awesome to see it grow. So yeah, what's going on this year, Blake, man? What do we got? Just to give us a quick rundown, and we'll get into some details then.
Okay, so we got a lot of return folks and some new kooky folks too. The thing I like about Gpop is that again, we're proudly independent and we're B tier, and we're sometimes a little bit odd, and that's kind of cool. We've got independent comic book artists this year, and we got 3 of them this year. This year is like the year of threes. This event, it seems. Nice. We've got 3 comic book artists. We've got 3 published authors. We've got 3 podcasters. We've got a couple of game creators. We've got game terrain creators. We got all kinds of really cool people, crochet plushie makers, and if you want odd.
That's the spot.
Come to the Gpop, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool festival.
Yeah. And community too, right? Like it's cool because it brings a whole lot of different, people of all types, across the whole city.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think is into, podcasting or you know what I mean, certain games or whatever, like game making, or who are, people don't realize there are authors in the city, or, like people who make comic books, you know what I mean? Like, so that's what I kind of like about it, the community aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah, like sometimes we get busy focused on the Hollywood of things or the A-list, and there's a lot of really great events that are out there that are that A-list, but I like the fact that we can kind of sneak in underneath and, and be that B-tier event where we can, we got a lot of room to kind of move around and not have such a standard to keep, I guess, right? So
yeah, and it's a bit easier for everybody to get involved too. Like some, bigger cons tend to be a little expensive, and I mean they're long days and that kind of thing. So like family-wise, those things are a little tougher to get to. I think Gpop really kind of caters to that more, take your kid environment versus, those big spectacles where, it's a whole day event, you got costumes, you got this whole thing going on. So that also appeals to me, right? I think that part is awesome. It's something everybody can feel like they get involved with, right? So, and kudos to you for, going about all this. And of course it's growing every year. It's time out of your day and all this stuff. So kudos to you for growing it and building the community around it. And yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks. It's a bit of a passion. If you're doing something you like, then it's not a chore, or it's not a pile of work, right?
Yeah.
So the day job is a chore. This is a passion. So.
It's a bit of fun.
You said it was your 5th. It's going to be
it's
your
our
5th.
5th event. Yeah.
Like, do you feel like more confidence now? Like you've got a few under your belt now.
A little bit. Closer to the event time, as things really start to rhyme in and things are concrete and going well, then you're feeling good. But up until that point, I'm a big anxiety mess, because there's so many loose things, and you're just trying to get it together, and you're trying to meet with folks, one-on-one, or at least you're trying to organically meet with folks prior to the show. And there's a lot of meetings, and sometimes you're herding cats sometimes, but that's kind of the fun of it too. So
dealing with a lot of artist type folks, right?
That's right.
Hard to get together.
Yeah,
right?
They're on artist time. You know how that is.
Hours,
right?
not an hour. There's no such thing as hours, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and community level is where it's at for me, and we try and keep it affordable for the family, and affordable for the vendor as well. So we keep our table prices nice and cheap, and so that we can get like the real collector sellers and the real makers that, because if you're at some of these bigger events where the table costs are $300, $400, $500 for a table rental.
Yeah.
You're getting some of the big gamers, I guess, show up maybe, right? There's a class of vendors and a big,
100%,
so if you want to see something different, you're going to see something different at the Gpop. You're going to see, some folks that you'll see that are at some of these bigger events, but you're going to see a lot of folks that you won't see elsewhere. And so I keep saying that it's the best collection of vendors that we have under the pop culture umbrella here in the Peace Country for sure.
I think so. Yeah. Lots of really great stuff. So it's a 2-day event. What dates are they going on? So, and give us a little insight on what's kind of happening on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday we're planning all kinds of fun stuff. We have a main stage in Gpop where we do a lot of panel interviews and live interviews, and we actually have you guys from 1985 helping us host and MC, which is really cool. And so we're gonna have. We got comic book creators, like I said, and we'll do a one-on-one with Mike Moman, probably, who does, Oldsmobiles with laser guns, which is, he's a pretty cool guy. He's a book about 3 bumbling idiots that are, fumbling through space in a Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra and, avoiding the cops as they do it because they've got some sort of galaxy killing machine in their car that they don't
super
know
fun.
about. And,
it's a sick comic. And for a local comic, to be fair, it's actually super sick. It's, it's funny, it's clever. I don't know. Now that I know Mike too, it's like, oh, that's Mike. Yeah, it's very much right.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty cool.
And we got Dasha Frost as well, and actually I've got a comic book here by Dasha Frost. I got Mike Moman's books here too. If we're looking at,
so we're in the camp. Put them up in the camp.
We got some. This is the Oldsmobile Laser Guns issue 2 and 3 there.
Yeah,
or is
cool.
it issue 2? Yeah, it is issue 2 and 3. Look at that. I didn't have to look at it, and it was issue 2 and 3. And another comic book artist we have too is Dasha W. Frost. And she's also a Grande Prairie product. Yeah, and she's about 6 chapters in now. And what I like about her is that it's she calls it a non-linear graphic novel. So the graphic novel follows a couple of different timelines at the same time, and it's sort of about this hitman who's trying to save his girlfriend from meeting her destined fate of death. And he's trying.
It's cool. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah.
And so I do have an interview as well from the last one that I'm going to put out too. So it's still got a couple of those things to release too. But she was very interesting, super cool, and like it seems like an artist kind of thing. Which is cool. Yeah.
And we got a third guy this year too, and he was at our event. I think it might have been Gpop 2 he was at, and we hadn't seen him since. And we got him back. We got him back in for Gpop 5. Get the band back together.
Do it again.
Yeah, and his name is Josh Thorne, and he does a couple of books, Mr. Pacholka and Earl, the Peculiar Adventures of Mr. Pacholka and Earl, and he's a game creator as well, and manager of a local hobby shop in town, Wonderland. So he's like, that guy is living his passions.
Doing his thing,
that's a guy that needs to be showcased and promoted, right? And that's what we're all about at Gpop is showcasing, promoting that local talent, right? And we can go on and on about this awesome talent. A couple of great published authors. Dustin Archibald is the first guy that comes to mind, and he's been with me since Gpop too.
Well.
Right?
We got an interview. The Moman, him, and Chris as well. So that's
he writes a sci-fi saga called the Asha Anderson series. There,
it's a pretty cool book. I've bought the first 3 and I've read them. They're pretty cool. I mean, it's it's not necessarily directed at me, but it is good. In the context of what it is.
Yeah, it's a young teen superhero sci-fi kind of action story. Right? And
it's cool.
Mm-hmm. And he's working on book 4.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to have it released.
Dude.
He's going to have it released for Gpop.
So
this is really cool. I love that. Right?
Wicked. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dustin's pretty cool dude too. Yeah, he's
super laid back. If he's any more laid back, he'd be dead.
He would be. Yeah. He just he just fall right over on his own head.
Very laid back.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
And he's a technical book editor as a day job.
Yeah, I know. That's because I find that's one thing that when we spoke with him and stuff and got to know him a little bit that I didn't realize, and then he's got a lot of insight into, of course, AI and technology and stuff. And then when I read a couple of the books, I was like, oh, this makes a bit more, the whole thing came together or whatever.
Yeah, he calls himself a self-professed technology evangelist. So
he's like a crazy, almost like a historian or something. When you're speaking with him about it. He's super interesting dude. I will say.
I'm really excited about the third. We have a third author that's coming. I'm really excited about this one. She goes by the pen name C.K. Smith. and she's a hidden gem. I just discovered her a couple of months ago, and she's got a pile of books under her belt, and she's covered a bunch of genres. And she started off with a children's book, which we're not interested in at Gpop. Just joking. But no, she started off with a children's book, and she's got a series of poetry books, and then she branched into the romance genre. And so, we're not all just geeks and war games at Gpop. She's got a series called Romancing the CEO, and then I think the stuff I'm most excited about, and I'm reading this book called The Haunting of Aberdeen Manor, and it's a very Stephen King-esque book, horror book, and about 4 college friends that decide they are going on a Halloween trip back to the old homestead of one of the college kids, and where evil lurks, and they're pretty apprehensive going in there. And I'm in page 38 right now.
Oh yeah,
man! I'm telling you, somebody just came out of the fog. And
oh, there's a person in the woods. Oh my god!
Look out!
That's wicked. That's super good.
Yeah, so she's got a new book she's going to be releasing come April. So right in time for Gpop again. I think she's going to have some early books, and you guys are going to be talking to her, I believe. And she's going to be promoting the Podcast Killer, which is going to be super fitting, man.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
So cool.
It's going to be good, I think.
Yeah.
No, man, you got a wicked lineup going on there. And then, of course, you got Corvin is going to be here, a couple other locals like that. That's all good.
Jordan Corvin has been with me since Gpop 2, I believe, as well. And she's just amazing. And her and another vendor goes by the name of Spellins, they're going to be doing some cartoon stripping at Gpop. So they're going to use our Gpop robot, and we're going to do a cartoon stripping workshop. So
yeah, man.
Oh wow,
yeah, it's going to be. You got. When we kind of looked at the tentative schedule, this is going to be really good, man. It's going to be super fun.
I think
you got
so.
A lot of cool stuff.
You're just not going to see this stuff elsewhere, right?
Yeah,
we want to inspire people. Like, I feel like everybody's got a story in them. We've all got a story in us somehow, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of closet writers out there that
for sure
you suffer from imposter syndrome, maybe, or just you're hard to take that next step, or you don't have the confidence, or you think because maybe you didn't go to school for literature or whatnot that you just don't have it, right? But I'm a lot of these people that are here at Gpop, they're doing it, and they're not necessarily like, I'm highly educated and writing a novel, and that's what.
Well, I mean, look at us.
Yeah, you guys can do it, right? If I can run Gpop,
if we can do this, you can do that.
That's right. So really excited to have her, and yeah, we just got some really cool talent, and they just come out of the woodwork. And every time we have a new Gpop, I think, how am I going to top the one before? And then I come across somebody like C.K. Smith, right, who's just killing it, literally.
Yeah, that's wicked. Yeah, like super interesting. That'll be good, and I'm glad that she's going to get, because it probably wouldn't slide across my plate ever, technically. So it's cool to like find that stuff out, right?
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, very cool.
It is inspiring, especially because who would think that they can. They could put their talents to writing a full book, a full novel or whatever, even just growing up in Grande Prairie, right? So if they come and see this, they can do it, right?
Man. Definitely. And of course, you'll get to hear some of their stories. You can walk up and talk to them. They're going to be at booths and stuff. So it's not, it's going to be pretty,
it's
pretty hands-on, if you will, right? So that's going to be, that part is cool too, and especially as a person who likes to ask questions or learn kind of that way. Like it's cool to be able to interact with people who are doing it and actually ask those questions. So we're going to be doing some workshops and stuff too.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of the workshops you got going on.
So like I said, we're going to do the cartoon stripping workshop. We got Mike Molman as well from the Oldsmobiles and Laser Gun Saga we mentioned before, and he's going to be looking at doing scripting, comic book scripting, so like page layout and that sort of thing.
Okay. That's going to be wicked,
Yeah, which I'm really interested in too. Is if you're trying to, you tell a story and you're, you've got an action scene or you got a scene that you want to do, and there's got to be some sort of chemistry or method to where does the splash page come in, where does your middle picture is like 2 or 3 panels wide, right? And how do you derive from your scene to the format of what that's going to look at? And I think if Mike Bowman's a super awesome guy that's going to be able to teach that, and I think if you're like 8 years old wanting to learn that, or you're 35 years old wanting to learn that, you're going to get something out of it, right? So
I think so, yeah. And we're in a point where you don't have to have all this crazy stuff. You can do a lot of stuff with like computer, like a kind of lightweight computer and a phone or a tablet. Like you can do a lot of stuff with these tools, and I think it's exciting. So like we're hoping to, we're going to be involved in a little workshop where we're going to be doing kind of introduction to podcasting kind of thing. Yeah. So during that, I think that'll be kind of what we would like to, even though I'm probably going to bring these things into play or whatever. But we would like to show off. Also, you can just pick up your phone and get similar results. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially starting out, if you don't fully know if that's your path and this is just something you want to explore, or it's a bit of fun, or so I think that stuff's going to be interesting too, like getting into the workshops and stuff,
and even just thinking about it. Like, you might have an idea that you want to do something, but then just it's a difference between having the idea and then thinking about what your core audience is and how you're going to flush things out.
For sure,
and, and the consistency. And so I think even just having that conversation with a bit of Q&A, that's and that's what we're going to be doing, that kind of easy stuff that just kind of gets you over the hump. The podcasting talent. We're blowing up the podcasting talent this time. Like before, we had you guys as our premier guys, and we've got we've got some extra talent coming now with the Surf Kings of Gotham. They're one half of the Surf Kings of Gotham, which is a really cool podcast of a show on shows.
Yeah, those guys are wicked. So Brady and them are pretty sweet dudes.
Right? Brady cool. Irvine, and so he's a pretty fun guy, and he's going to help us MC some of our cosplay. And Lindsay Janes, I think you had Lindsay Janes on here as well.
We did, we did
past podcast.
We did 2 Halloween specials with her.
Mm-hmm. So Disturbing the Peace. So if you like morbid mystery and people getting away with murder, or people getting caught with murder, check out Lindsay Janes.
And it's all local too, which is cool, right? I mean, that's the cool part about her podcast. It's technically all Peace region related, crime or whatever, in that way. But it's interesting the way she does. Like, she does a super good job. Like, I always promote her stuff. Like, always happy to see her have good success. Like, because she does a really good job. And like, I mean, we do lights and flashy, but she actually does research.
She does a lot of research. Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
She's very well prepared. She does a great job with her podcast. And
she confided in us that she writes it all out before she does the podcast. She's
crazy.
A scripter, right? So that's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, and I mean, she does it in chunks. Like, so I mean, we just kind of sit and try to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because we need the video, but I mean,
for that you need everything in chronological order.
Yeah, you gotta have
everything. You need to tell your story in the right correct order, right? So like the things she looks up and stuff. I love it because it's a local flair, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Grande Prairie, people do go missing and murders happen all the time.
And there's lots
not
of
all the
mysteries.
time, but like in this
but
area.
there's mysteries.
Murders are happening more than they used to happen.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, it is definitely a thing. 100% that's a thing, right? But like, I mean, she, like, you look at what she's doing and how well it's doing, and what goes into all that, man. Like, holy cow. Like, I mean, I know what goes into this even, and like, I can't imagine having to, like, I mean, yes, we do research. Obviously, we talk to people and we research those people, but it's different. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. So kudos to her for doing it. And like, same thing with Brady. And then, like, it seems like similar animal to a certain degree. I mean, I know they kind of sit down and like one shot it kind of thing, but it's similar animal. They have to sit, watch a bunch of stuff, take notes on a bunch of stuff, sit and talk about it in order of how the show airs, and how timing things go and all this kind of stuff. So like, very similar thing. Like, you do still have to, you can watch it, but you still got to do your homework too. Like, with us, it's a little bit more, we can research the people, and the people we're super interested in the people we want to talk to. So like, we always have questions and whatever.
Yeah,
totally different animal.
Getting to know
totally
them,
different
right?
animals.
Like, we're kind of just conversing, having a conversation where we can just get to know the person.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a totally different animal kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's what's great about Gpop too. Is a lot of camaraderie there. Like, they got a lot of vendors that they love to be there because they get to network and they trade art, and we're really branching out this time too into wargaming. So we're going to have a Warhammer tournament, and we're doing some Magic the Gathering tournament there with
Warhammer.
Do that again. That was really good. You got to do some voiceover, man.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Join the Warhammer tournament at Gpop.
Gpop.
Bring your mechs. So we're going to check out some Warhammer, courtesy of Wonderland, is going to be providing a lot of game terrain, and
nice.
And if you're like, if you're into wargaming and that kind of stuff, like, you'll love Gpop, because we've got game terrain makers and 3D printers, and we've got guys that make armor for your mechs. They make armor accents for your mechs, little tiny pieces of shoulder pads, and special guns and things like that. Wow. Right? So
it's crazy what people be up to, man. Like, in their spare time.
Yes, yeah.
It's crazy, right?
The wargaming world is a really cool world now. Like, I don't know what it was like back in the 80s and 90s, when the D&Ds were just breaking out, and BattleTech was just breaking out, but now games have really flourished, and the stories and the lore background to some of these games is super amazing. It's almost like I don't know, they dream up a movie before the board game even shows up, you know. And
Do you play Warhammer? Do you play?
I don't.
No,
No,
you don't.
no. I went down to try and play some BattleTech, and it's a lot of math, and math is not my friend. And
Not my friend either.
So-
No, sir. I
But,
do it 3 times, so definitely not.
you know, it's
So it's a big table game, right? Where people have, big pieces, of like their army or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like it is really cool.
It's
Like
all
how
do
it
with
is.
sight lines and like.
Oh,
you know
okay.
Yeah. So like BattleTech is
Because I don't know
elaborate.
you'll have a
It's like-
3D game board with. It depends upon whether it's like a space scenario or a water scenario, for instance, and so you'll have
it's
like
crazy.
you have trees and buildings, and
Oh.
if your mech can't physically see through the building, then
Right.
you can't fire a shot at somebody. You have
Right.
to
You
measure out and roll your dice and your
String line stuff
Oh
or
yeah,
what?
your weaponry is all about the dice you
Oh, yeah.
roll, and
Boz
your
got
defense
her-
is all about the dice you roll.
Yeah,
and-
Boz got out the angles
Yeah.
and the rulers
They got
and the
those,
measuring tapes and oh yeah,
They got those CSI like rods, like straight line rods, where
basically that's what they're at though. Like,
you can't, the bullet would never have hit.
yes, man, 100%. That's what it's like. It's wicked. Like I mean, it's super sick, but like I'm not good enough at math and angles and. It's too many things. Like I got to pay attention too much.
I think once you're into it, I think once you like the learning curve is a little bit it's a little bit steep in the learning curve, but I think once you get the hang of it, I think it's a really addicting game.
And if you're already in that world where you kind of play similar, like 4K, like Warhammer 4K would kind of be close, and you know what I mean. Like if you're already in the worlds kind of thing, I think it'd be an easier transition. Like I remember when I first started playing D&D, even. And I mean, I know how it functions. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, the rules are kind of simple in a way, but they're not really, like, once you really get into it. Same thing as Magic, right? Like, the rules seem kind of simple if you play it basic, but if you, play the kind of more advanced level, it's a bit more.
Yes.
There's a steep learning curve, technically, right?
Yes.
So it's all similar. You just like, but if you're in that world, I feel like those games come a lot easier to people.
And that's
for sure.
that's what we're going to attempt to do with Gpop is to kind of do like we're going to have a segment of pros helping Joes
Yeah, that's
where
sick, right?
you start to learn, and then we're going to do a little tourney maybe
Joe and a half over
That'd
there.
be me.
Yeah.
So we're going to do like 500-point tourney and
Basic
various
Joe.
rounds, 45-minute
Just
rounds.
easy to go stuff. Yeah.
But the Lord of
That's wicked,
40,
man.
the Lord of 40K, was watching it last night.
cool,
It's
yeah.
really cool. Like it's about
Yeah.
humans in the future, and they're kind of a menace.
Yeah,
They're a
yeah.
bunch of war gamers, And anyway, Alexander the Great, the Greek god of war, decides to take matters in his own hands and lead humanity, and he sort of becomes like the epitaph for humanity, right? And yes, I know it's
It's cool, yeah. It is cool.
Yeah,
Like that's
40K
one thing
is
I like
40,000 years of the lore, right? So yeah.
It's like that stuff. Like I find the stories of it all really cool. Like I love when people come up with like their own, like the D&D stories and stuff, like the campaigns. Like it's almost more fun to like. I'll watch them sometimes. Just like even just watch because there's a couple guys got these sick tables built with the smoke and fucking crazy whatever they got going on, right? And it's super fun to watch it because they're stoked about it, and the table looks awesome. And the story is awesome, and it's like some dudes do it very, 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 very well. It's really cool.
Watching
I
the
will say that.
Warhammer 40K last night got me excited.
Yeah,
it
it's
got me
cool,
excited
man.
to want to try the game out.
Yeah, it's cool. I like
Pull up a
those.
clip. Can we pull up a clip?
Let's try it out. See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys talk.
I like the detail that people put into their figures. You know what I mean? They paint them, like custom paint them, they 3D print all these things and
Yeah.
paint them.
We got a guy in Grande Prairie, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because this is going to be for next Gpop. But we're going to work on this guy. And there's a guy in Grande Prairie who is a real famous guy for painting war mech, and he's got a lot of trophies and awards. And I'm not going to say his name because I haven't spoken to him yet.
Okay, yeah.
But I know when I'm going to get my claws on him, I'm going to get him involved in Gpop because why would you not? This guy would be perfect for it. So
It's gonna show it.
yeah. So.
Yeah, it won't come through the speaker.
So we're going to try that and try and create some new players, which will also create new traffic for the hobby stores in town, and that's the whole idea for doing some of that 40K mech at the Gpop. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a cool, like I say, like it's fun stuff. Like that stuff is really cool. It's interactive too, so everybody come down for that. So count them down now. So what do we got we got podcast workshop.
We got podcast workshop. We got cartoon stripping workshop going on. We've got possible slime demo happening. We did a slime demo last.
Went well.
It went off quite well.
Went
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
This is the one I was looking for. Skip ahead a little bit. We don't need to talk about glue. Give me some gameplay. Boom. All right, let's flip it to the big screen here.
Got
So
the measuring tape. Is that Milwaukee?
a Milwaukee.
Is that a Milwaukee?
So yeah, so they got the tape out, right?
This is the video I was watching last night there. So this is like an aliens versus humans scenario. And
this is-
in the lore, Alexander the Great has created, he's made humans, and he's made like some of these bigger humans and different size, right? That fill out some of these different size mechs, the heavy mechs and the medium sized mechs, right? And
Yeah,
so you'll see these little red dots on the board, and those are areas that they want to occupy, and so they'll get points for occupying those spots. And the more spots you get, the more points you get, and then every round those points get counted up. And so it's kind of a cool game. It looks like a real cool game. We were talking about
Cosplay.
40K, and then we started going on the cosplay, and our machine took a fart, man. So we're back on for cosplay.
Back
and,
in for cosplay, yeah.
So cosplay, we tried it last event there, and it was it's another one of these growing things. And so we tried the cosplay last year, it went off pretty well, and we had 1985 and Surf Kings MC it, and I didn't see any of it. I was outside in an inflatable robot costume with a mobile sign trying to get people to come to the Jeep. So I walked in on the tail end.
But it was good. It went smooth. Like, I mean, the smooth is it went smooth.
Right.
Like, this is good. And I mean, the thing is with cosplay stuff, man. I'd be the first one to say it, is like you do have to kind of there's like a adjustment period, right? So you got to kind of know what you're up to. Is if you're not in the loop, you can't just jump in, right? Like, it's a hard thing to like day of or next day or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're preparing. You're preparing for it.
There's a lot more to that to it.
Yeah. I mean, some of it is having fun, and you're just having a laugh, and you're laughing at yourself. And some of it is you're pretty serious, and you want.
Like, some people are really serious about their business, and that's cool. Like, that's their thing. Cool.
Yeah. And we had a real range. We had a real range at the last Gpop, from almost like a cardboard costume to to some really sweet looking.
Some of them were
really
sick.
sweet looking stuff. Yeah.
Some cool Borderlands ones and stuff.
The
like that.
Borderlands, I think, was top notch.
It was sick, yeah. So we MC'd that. So then this year now we're gonna do the same thing. So we'll we'll get up MC. We'll get some tunes playing. We'll make it.
Tunes playing.
We got the red carpet.
Yeah, we're talking about. Oh yeah, you got a real red carpet.
Yeah, that's sick. That's good.
10-foot red carpet this year, and we're gonna have a featured guest too, help MC. And I think this is maybe a segue into talking about who are. I mentioned before, this is Gpop 5, number 5, and we want to do something special. We were trying to do something a little special, reach for another little plateau, and. So I kind of took a page out of your book on,
Our book?
Well, in a way that, you guys say, like, grow balls and ask people, right?
Yeah,
and see what happens.
100%.
So I reached out to a professional comic book creator who lives here in Alberta, and he's coming to town, man. He's coming, and I'm going to give you the story, and then I'm going to tell you who it is, because I want to give you this little intro and promo.
Little hot inside scoop action.
Here we go.
Little hot inside scoop action.
This guy was here about 7 years ago, and there was a lot of. There was a lot of news press on him at the time. He was a real rags to riches story, and ended up working with Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and he's experienced life from one extreme to the other. Anyway, and Kyle Charles, I just got to say it now. Kyle Charles is coming to town, man. He's coming to the Gpop, and he's an amazing guy. He's made it all the way to the top. He's an Indigenous artist living in Alberta who's drawn Wolverine for Marvel. You do not get any more badass than that.
No, man. I mean, like, to have him in Alberta come to a local event, like,
yeah,
beautiful.
And he's got some really great. His art is really great too. I don't know if you've seen his art.
Oh yeah,
but like the heavy black a line, right? Oh, and it's just really grizzly. He draws Wolverine amazing, just like he's meant to be. Really like vicious and staunchy, and. So I think this year in cosplay we definitely got to have a bit of a Wolverine mix into it and say break out your best Wolverine and
break out the best Wolverine,
bust it out,
shink, right?
Yeah, bust it out,
break out the best Wolverine, folks. Cosplay,
big year,
go down, break Grotto's sideburns down,
grow man. Get them growing now. Start growing now, baby. Start growing them in now.
That's right.
But no, that's daily.
Grow that chest hair.
Get the meat going.
Yeah. So that's really awesome.
Super cool.
We're going to talk to Kyle Charles. We're going to make him a real part of the show. He's, like I said, he's been in town before, but he did not get the exposure that Kyle Charles
Yeah.
deserves, and this time he's going to be front and center with us, man,
Like
and
it.
we're treating him like a king, and we're going to have a Q&A session with Kyle Charles. So
Yeah.
if you ever had a question for Kyle and you want to talk about his experience in life and how he made it from a state of homelessness to working for the top comic book publishing company in the world,
He's there.
he's going to be there, man.
You got the opportunity to ask a question
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm sure
Yeah.
he's open to,
Yeah.
chat, so it'll be fun. And again, good thing about Gpop, it'll be like an interactive type environment.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to actually, kind of sit and probably essentially chat rather than a question.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
We'll include him on a panel or a live
Yeah.
interview as well. And I mean, $7, right?
Come on down.
A day ticket for Gpop is $7, and you go see Kyle Charles, and you can go
snap.
get
Yeah.
some books signed, and
Hell yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome,
Super cool.
yeah,
Super cool.
yeah.
man.
So I'm really
Go have a
excited.
look around at some
Yeah.
vendors and stuff, and I always get a few like toys or
Something
like
to find, man.
Funkos or
Yeah.
someone like. There's always a vendor around who's got something cool like for you, like
Oh,
something
yeah.
you're interested in, like.
Yeah, especially
games.
because you got a little bit of collectibles, you got some, like made stuff, you got some print stuff, you got a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
The flavor is good, man. The flavor is good.
And it's got it's like a mid '80s feel to it. It's got an old feel to it. Like it's in an old building. The Decoy Armory
Yeah.
is a building built in the '40s and was built for the World War II war effort as a basic training facility. And they built the whole thing by hand. Like it's 5,000. Is it 5,000 square feet?
Oh,
It's
yes, easy.
huge, and it's
Easy,
a
more.
big giant concrete floor, all built by
Yeah,
hand.
wooden build, big wooden building.
Yeah.
right?
So I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
it's
better
cool.
place to have a B tier, pop culture event, kind of, like a B tier Comic Con,
And it has almost there's a retro
like
slant to it all.
Yeah.
Like there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit of a retro slant to the whole thing. Like the Gpop Culture Fair has a retro slant, even though it's new stuff and all that. There's nothing like that, but it has this retro slant. The building's awesome.
I like how it's finding its way. Like it
Yeah,
never
yeah.
really started with a major mission and a vision. It was.
Yeah.
I was just looking for a place to sell comic books. That's pretty,
And have people that enjoyed that come around. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You have a huge collection of
I
comic
do,
books,
man.
eh?
I do. I got I've downsized, but I've got 40 plus boxes. I got a lot of books, and I spent money. The kids, I spent a lot of money. I'm a real sucker for
I
collecting.
spent a lot of money.
On my collection, I've spent a lot of money on that.
No, but
That's
I mean,
a part of it.
It's part of it,
that's
man.
part of it. You want to have your grails,
Yeah,
and
dude.
like a grail to me could be a $50 book. Even it's
Right.
just something you want to have, right? And
Right.
finding a book in the wild is amazing, or
That's
just
right.
getting a great deal. Or,
That's the fun of it, right?
yeah, and I've been doing it since high school.
Doing the flip, right? I
Yeah.
love the flip. I love the flip.
So I've been doing it since high school, and I've sold my collections back and forth before. But since I've been in Grande Prairie the last 20 years, I've kind of started back up again, and I really liked it. I did it just on the cusp of Disney and Marvel kind of getting together and really blowing up. So I bought lots of nice Silver Age books before the price really skyrocketed,
snap.
and
Nice.
so I got first appearance of Ghost Rider, and
That's a good book.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good book.
yeah. And I got a more number one, and I got a lot of really cool books. I got the first appearance of Wolverine actually, so which I'm really stoked about.
Hulk?
It's an Incredible Hulk book. You're right.
It's
and
early too, isn't it?
It's
Early.
a 180.
Nice.
180.
Yeah.
Now some people are going to tell you it's 181, and that's where you're going to pay a lot of money for 181.
Oh,
So
because isn't he just in one panel in that book or something like that?
he is in 180. So here's the thing. In 180,
damn.
you're right. He's drawn by an artist by the name of Herb Trimpe. He shows up in the last page.
Yeah.
He's in full costume. He speaks. He does everything that a first appearance character would do minimally in comics, right?
Yeah, pop in.
And it was a Overstreet error that created all of this craziness over Incredible Hulk 180, 181.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I know a bit what you're,
They-
180.
Yeah, they misquoted Wolverine as being first appearance in 181, and then even Marvel themselves in print have rectified it and said no, like the first appearances. And this is where the cameo came about in comics.
Yeah.
First appearance versus cameos and that sort of thing. And then a cameo was just like a hint of a character or a prelude of a character or
Right.
something. And but this is not that. This is showing up in full costume, speaks everything, and
this is the old costume too.
and the old costume too. Oh yeah,
Take
and
me
so,
back.
so I think
What's the old costume?
So it's the yellow and brown,
Yeah.
or
So
whatever,
brownish,
like
yeah.
the brown
More
V,
brown.
whatever you want to say in it. Like had a V, and
That's
then
what
it
I'm
had
talking
the
about.
line,
Yeah.
or the big.
thousands of dollars in the difference of value.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
for
what
sure.
year?
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
Oh
And you have this,
yeah,
right? You got
yeah,
this- you
late
got
'70s, I guess, maybe early to mid '70s.
How long have you had this
72
comic?
something.
Oh, I've had this comic maybe a dozen years or so, and
Is it framed and shit?
I've got it slabbed, and I had it signed by Herb Trimpe in the
That's
Arizona
sick.
Comic
That's
Convention.
sick too, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
got to meet
I got a
him.
Herb card the other day. Actually, is a
Herbie.
It's a 9, same thing. Got it, but it's signed
okay.
and autographed. Right, so
Right,
sick. Yeah, I was
right.
like, oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's a nice little ditty. I don't do the comics much, but I like the cards, man. I'm big. I collect the Marvel. Like I love the 91, 92, 92, 93. I think it is, or 90, 91, 91, or 92, 93
Right.
sets. I got one full complete now. Without the holograms. Holograms are still hard to get, but the full set, like base sets.
Yeah. Fun
those are
time in
like,
comics.
Oh, dude.
Blew up, right?
And the
Images
90s
used
was
and-
still kind of cheap, even, right? Like comics weren't crazy still. Like as much as they were popular, they weren't like if you just wanted to go read books, like yes, there was expensive books all the
Yeah,
time, but
yeah.
if you want to go read books, they weren't crazy expensive then either.
No.
So that's when I kind of got into it. Like I'm not as heavy now, obviously, but
Yeah.
I used to be really big into comics at one point. Like I loved, it's like Wolverine, man, just hit me. Like Wolverine, like the Amazing Spider-Man story, Death of Superman,
Right.
like those kind of pieces.
Yeah.
And then
big moments in comic book.
yeah, like
history.
that kind of hooked me, right?
That shit, like, I remember seeing that like all over TV and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
like, when Superman.
I
died,
remember
like,
getting the death of Superman comic because it was the black. You get it in a black bag, and it
went
had
like
the, and had the
12
blood.
plus prints, I think,
Right,
the
yeah.
book. Yes.
Yeah, like the one I had was that one, and it had the
75,
had
I
the,
believe. Superman 75. Yeah.
what was it on the cover? Oh, the cover was them walking up with a casket, but it had this big sticker on it too. That was the other
okay,
thing.
yeah.
You could peel off this big
Yeah.
sticker. Of course, I got
Yeah.
the sticker because I was like whatever 8 years old or whatever. So I peeled this big sticker off and stuck it on my thing. But like reading, so I read that one comic because I got it cheap somewhere. It was on whatever, it was in the dollar bin or whatever. So I bought it. And I was like, that's sick. And then, of course, I had to go both ways, right? Like, I had to go backwards to see what happened. So then I had to go ahead, and I was like, oh, this is wicked. It's like wicked storyline because you can buy the whole storyline in, like, a set
And
of books.
collected- yeah,
It's like a
collected
set of
format,
books kind of
yeah.
thing. And it's not like sometimes what Marvel does, like, you get 10 books, and then one or the other, like, the 11th part is book 250 of subset, whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, sometimes they do
go
that.
to another series to get the last part of it or something.
Yeah,
So,
stuff like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
So that was cool. Like that was one cool. It was like a straightforward story, and this was the storyline. This is what they were putting out, and you got to read it. And it was wicked. I remember like seeing the Doomsday, smash them in.
yeah,
I was like, this
yeah.
is unreal. Like this
Yeah,
is crazy.
yeah,
Got me right into
great
it.
character.
Great
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
Yeah, super
The
cool.
last book was I think it was a double. Was it a double splash page? Every book was a double
Yes,
splash page.
yeah.
Every scene.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the art, like
Oh,
and
yeah.
that thick paper and the thick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that was the highest printed book at the time when it
Crispy,
came
buddy.
out. It was the biggest produced print, copyright.
Oh, it was a huge
people
deal,
lined up,
huge
and
deal.
It's not worth it.
no, not worth 10 cents. But I remember that was like you know what I mean? Because of the
They just
spectacle of the
made
whole
too
thing.
many. They just made too many of them, or
Well, there was so much demand. There was so much demand for it.
And you could
man.
buy them
And he's
everywhere.
not dead. He wasn't dead.
Yeah,
more than a
obviously.
year. It was
Yeah.
a year he died. And he back after a
Right.
year,
Yeah.
right? So it was,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah. It
He
was good.
He never did die.
He never technically died. Yeah, he never
He's not human.
Yeah.
Where's Brady? We need the Surf Kings of Gotham here.
Yeah.
It's a damn lie.
It was a damn
Always
lie.
was.
But it was a good, that was a good, you know what I mean? Like a good series,
Yes.
like good. And of course, it brought everything to the forefront kind of thing, which is really
Yeah.
slick.
Man,
too,
that
yeah.
shit was on Entertainment Tonight.
Yes, man, everywhere you watch it.
Yeah,
on the news.
that was a big news.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big
news.
But that was cool, but I remember
Big
that.
news.
Big news. Imagine Superman potentially may have died in a comic
Man,
book.
what was that song by Crash Test Dummies? Superman?
Oh, Superman's dead, isn't it? Isn't that what?
Oh, no, that's the first thing that comes into your mind. No, that's Our Lady Peace.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes. OLP. That's right. Good call. Good call. Yeah.
Crash Test that was they had
It
a
was God. So I don't know. He was at. They were at Bear Creek. Were they at
They
Bear
were
Creek
at Bear
Folk
Creek last
Festival?
year, yeah.
Crash Test
Yeah.
Dummies.
They got some deadly tunes, but I mean, I don't know. Not my. That's like my thing.
Peter Pumpkinhead.
Peter Pumpkin. Peter Pumpkinhead. That used to be a much music staple, man. That was like
we're way off the rails here.
As usual.
That's right.
As usual.
Anyway, that's me, man. I was just trying to find a place to sell my comic books. And I was at some toy fair, and it was all agricultural toys, and they were really busy, but they had, there was no one buying my books. So I was like, I want a place to sell my books, so I tried to make a collector seller fair, and then it just sort of bloomed into finding people that were like, hey, I create, I'm actually making a comic book. We gotta have you.
That's pretty cool.
You should be over here. You should be, So that's kind of how it evolved. And I've got vendors that have been with me since the very first one, and they're five shows later. They're still with me. So, I think
there it is. Mike Moman.
Mike Moman, Mike Moman showed up in number 2, man, and he's been there ever since. And
what a gem.
Yeah. We got a toy seller. She has all kinds of stuff like Barbies to vintage, to various vintage toys made here. And she sells on Poshmark, by the way, so a little plug for you there, Melinda, or May here, sorry.
That's your real name, sir.
But May's been with me since number 1, right? She comes back every time.
I'll try to put a bleep in there. Just for a laugh.
You're not going to remember that.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
So anyway, I'm really excited. We got a lot of great indie talent to showcase and promote. Great artistry. You can get a caricature done, or a sketch portrait of yourself, or you can take a picture of your pet even and get it done too, and free face painting for the kids, and retro video game playing, and board game demos, and cartoon stripping workshops, and comic book page layout workshops, and live panel discussions, and one-on-one interviews, and a badass market to boot.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I think
and tell us a little bit about this.
So the last couple of Gpops, my video game seller Blake told me, he's like, "How come you aren't getting artboards signed up by these artists?" So I started getting these artboards done by these artists, and King Kale goes by the name of King Kale. He's a badass artist, and he puts together our poster for us the last 2 events, and just takes all the art together and makes it nice.
Put her up.
Daft Punk on the bottom there. And
love it.
Turn around. It's the original.
The original sketches here.
And I always just say make it
Super
like a
cool.
robot or an alien, and I got kind of a fetish for robots, so I kind of like robots and vintage robots and that sort of stuff. So if you want to break out a robot cosplay, I'd be stoked for that.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, show up in some robot cosplay.
You'll win at very minimum third prize.
Mm-hmm. So we got lots going on both days, and so it's if you go the one day, you can see a lot of different stuff on day 2, and you can get a ticket for $10 for the whole weekend, or you can pay $7 and go one day. I think what a steal to see all this talent.
You can't even get a burger for $7.
You can't even get a fast food menu combo now.
A drink is like $4.
Oh my god!
Right, so check it out, everybody.
Yeah,
make sure
the price goes up.
Yeah, because I mean,
can't do this forever.
Inflation's coming.
What's those 25% tariffs roll down?
Yeah, look out!
It's going to be $15 for the weekend.
That's right. But come on down, everybody. Make sure you come down. So we got workshops happening. Come down. We'll be there. We got Lindsay's going to be there. Mm-hmm. We got Surf Kings of Gotham is going to be there.
Kyle Charles is
going to be there. Come check that out. Make sure you come down. Check it. Moment's going to be down there. Come down. Make sure you check everything out. If you're interested in,
take $200 with you.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. If you take $200 cash with you, you can barter. You're going to find something you're going to want. So
100%.
Yeah,
and just vendors of all sorts. You'll be able to get a CD, DVD, VHS, custom, whatever caricature, whatever you need.
Happens to be record store day on the weekend too. We have a vinyl seller, which is really cool. Right, He's been with us since. Oh my goodness, since Gpop 2, I believe. So yeah. So
come down and see that. Check that out. That's your thing. Like I say, I think there's something for everybody.
Yeah, pretty much, and for all ages.
All ages for everybody. Yeah. It's going to be super fun. So come down and check it out. Again, if you're interested in comic book making, drawing, if you're interested in podcasting, even if you got other questions that don't necessarily relate to that, come on down. if you're a creative, definitely come down, check out all the people that are going to be there, because you're definitely going to meet some cool, interesting creatives and artists and people from all different versions of that, because there's going to be everybody there.
Yeah.
So
Real
come down, check
people,
it out.
real talent.
Yeah, and a lot of locals, which is the pinnacle of the best part of it. That's the best part of it.
Doing awesome things. That's what I love about it. Like locals, but they're doing pinnacle stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Super awesome to see. And then, like I say, you'll get to meet Carl Charles.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome. Come down, get an autograph on your book. If you don't got the book, get the book. Come down and see
I'm
it.
sure he'll have books with him.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have stuff.
He's worked for DC too, right?
Yeah.
So he's done
Batman.
covers for Batman. He's done a Batman #1 cover, man. Yeah.
Like serious business this year.
Yeah.
Serious business, everybody. Come down, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a ton of fun. We'll be emceeing. There'll be a lot of Q&As, like we're saying. So pretty much everybody who was included in the list here tonight. That's the people we'll be interviewing for, more or less. And if not, somebody will be interviewing them. It's gonna be super fun, man.
Yeah,
I'm super excited for you this year. It's gonna be a good one, man.
Good, I hope
I'm stoked.
So.
I'm stoked.
I'm always giddy. I'm always giddy for that when we get close, and we're starting to get close now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Look for the posters.
Yeah,
oh my God, look for the posters. They're gonna be everywhere.
Check them out. You will see those everywhere. We'll be posting a lot on our socials and stuff like that. You'll see some cool stuff coming up. So again, look out on our channel too. I'm going to be posting some stuff on Instagram or on YouTube. I'm going to put some of those interviews up from the last Gpop. We'll get some new cool stuff going on for some sound bites and whatever, and it's going to be awesome time, man. I'm super stoked for you, man.
Hey, I like your T-shirt too. You got a Gpop shirt on, man.
I represent every time. I've worn this a few times now. I rip on the pod.
That's right. Yeah, you have.
Oh yeah, man. You got to rip on the pod. That's what it's all about. That's the fun part. So check out the website too, everybody.
Gpopfair.com.
There you go. Check it out. Check them out on Instagram. Everybody follow them. Check them out.
At Gpop Culture Fair. We're on Instagram. We're
Follow
on
everything.
Threads.
Facebook.
We're on Blue Butterfly. What's that butterfly one? Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
We're on Blue Sky.
Check it all out, man. Like get involved in it all.
Yeah.
And if you got questions about anything, come on down and ask. If you're looking to buy something cool, if you're a collector, you're games person, if you like tabletop, if you like Magic,
Maybe you like chocolate covered Oreos.
Before we go too far,
doing that.
yeah, we got it. We got everything, man. Before we go too far, we got to sign up as well Saturday morning for Magic and 4K.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we'll have a registration Saturday morning for the Warhammer 40K tournament. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing something online too. I bet you we can sign up in advance.
100%.
We're still putting that one together, but we're really excited for it. So
yeah, that'll be super fun.
Yeah.
Especially I think Magic will kick off too. We get some people going with that. Magic's super fun.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, Magic's always popular.
Yeah. We've already got loose plans for the next G-Pop already, so that's
See,
what I'm already
that's where we're
excited
at.
about.
That's
Is that
nice,
we're already,
nice.
yeah. So, and we're
Always
yeah.
looking forward.
Always planning and scheming. That's how it works.
Not scheming.
Tell by the way I walk, and I is a man. To no doubt.
That's a Wu-Tang reference. But yeah, awesome, everybody. Come check it out. April 12th, 13th. Mark it on your calendars. Come check it out. Follow everybody on Instagram. Check us out. Check out Blaine. Check out Mike Moman. Check everybody out. Just go down the webpage. Get on the website. You'll find it all. It's going to be awesome. Super fun time. Really appreciate it. Blaine, man, thank you for coming into the studio. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I love doing this stuff. So
it's
anytime
fun.
you ever want me to come and chit chat,
Yeah,
show up and drop the hat.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Wicked, man.
Yeah, thanks
So-
for joining us in the studio. Second guest,
one?
returning
Yes.
guest as well. You've been on the pod before, so
Yeah,
great
yeah.
to have you back.
And I'm pivotal. I was pivotal to you talking to Stropolopoulos there, right? If I didn't,
If you didn't
'cause
if you
it
didn't
wasn't a
say
quick
I got
back
other
out,
stuff,
yeah.
we would. Well, I guess technically would have ended up the next day, but we won't hold it against you this time.
No. It was
oh wow, yeah.
yeah, so that was good. My failure was that's what I love. That's what I love. My failure was your success. So
Yeah.
even when I'm failing, I'm scoring. I love it.
So check out that episode.
Yeah, it's funny how that came about. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how life is, right? That's why you're here. That's why we're all here, kind of thing. So, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here, I guess.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. See you at
Here
the
we are.
G-Pop. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for
Thanks for
the
coming
platform. Appreciate it.
Oh man, anytime. Fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Cheers.
Come on. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. It's been another episode of And the Year was 1985.